So I pulled a 6 card spread here. And with this 6 card spread that I pulled here, all 6 of these cards represent you. There could be 6 different versions of you. And these 6 versions of you represent like you when you're in your poor state version, you when you're in your happy state version, you when you're in your middle version, your mediocre version, you when you're in a version of F the world, you in the version where you can touch the sky, nothing's off limits. There's so many different versions of you, and you are familiar with all of these versions of you because these versions represent different phases and different chapters of your life. You've lived in these versions where you were mediocre. You lived in these versions when you were low class. You lived in these versions when you were high class of the mind. You lived in these versions when you were the best version of yourself. You lived in these versions where you were a poor version of yourself. You lived in these versions where you were beyond the moon and you were beyond the stars and nothing could touch you and nothing could bring you down. Nobody knows these versions all too well of you but you, because you've lived in all these versions of yourself. But there's a question on the horizon where there comes a time where there comes a question, there comes a place where you can only pick one version of yourself. And this version is coming up from 2025 from here on out. You have a chance to kill some of these versions of you that you don't want to be involved with anymore. You have a chance to be a better version. Even if you were a poor state version of yourself, you have a chance to move around. You got 5 more chances out of the 6. Do you want to move, 1 more level up version, 2 more level up versions, 3 more level? You have to decide what it is, how you want to see yourself. You could take the beyond version where you shoot for the stars and the moon beyond, because that puts you in a place where you're unlimited. And that means that nothing is off reach to you. Or do you like the poor version of yourself walking around with your pockets hanging inside out the white parts and you having to ask and beg people for money and you have to sleep on people's couches? Or do you like the best version of yourself where you can lend a helping hand? Do you like smiling more than less? Do you like smiling less than more? Do you like when you can handle and rope problems, not all the way make them go away, but just in different versions and stations and states of yourself where you are more patient with yourself and you are more patient with others and you understand that things take time to rope out and you'll get there. There's a question that's coming and it has to be answered. There's not going to be, I'll figure it out later. That's been the problem. Figuring out it later never came. coming up, you're going to be put in some type of strenuous position where you're going to have to let it be known who you are, what you want, what you represent, what you stand for, what you are doing, what you are going to do. Or it could be the version where I'll just go door from door, using who I can, using what I can. I'll keep robbing Paul to pay Bill. I wish I had a witness. Think about where you want to be, but if I was you, I would choose the beyond the stars and the moon, because that means that I have 9 more lives to go.